How's it going, everyone? Craig with Logitech. We're at the managed services part of our booth this year, and one of the big highlights here is Logitech Sync. Now, Logitech Sync's been around for a while. People love it because it's great for management. You can see the inventory of your devices. You can really manage that update process. But some of the new things that we introduced really this past year, maybe year and a half, first is health insights. So we've had occupancy insights, which is not this, it's this right here. We've had occupancy insights in Sync for some time, which has been really helpful for people to understand room usage. Not just virtual conference usage, but how the room as a whole is being used. But this year, with the device that's right behind us, we introduced Health Insights. And so this device, Spot, which I'll walk right over here, along with Rallyboard 65, gave us environmental sensing in rooms. And so when we think about things like humidity, heat, we're familiar with those measures. You know, how warm is the room, how weird, sweaty, sticky is the room. But even CO2 can be measured, which is a really important measurement because have you ever had that feeling when you're in a room, it's kind of stuffy, it feels like a little bit stale? Well, science shows that high CO2 levels mean lower productivity when it comes to meetings. And so being able to see that kind of data in Sync, so let's just click over to a room like this, right here. Hold on, we're gonna do this 70% room right here. And being able to see that data for a room gives us real key information on how to keep our employees productive when they're in a conference room space. And so super, super effective. And then the other great part is that Spot can be deployed throughout the office. So it's not just conference rooms. You can put them in phone booths, you can put them in shared working spaces, lobbies, and again, really get a sense of what that environment is like for employees. Last thing I want to mention is the screen that's right next to it as well, because that's also part of the story, is within Sync, we wanted to introduce a simple way for people to do space booking. So whether it's conference rooms, desks, and even navigation, so this is a touch screen. It allows us to look at rooms, even allows us to book rooms directly from this touchscreen. We can do that. That's called Logitech View. It's part of our service offering with Essential and Select. And so a lot of really good stuff. And, almost forgot to mention this, as part of this whole solution, our devices also do auto book and release. Meaning that if you've got a Spot, if you've got our Rally Bar Mini, it's going to detect when people are in the room and it'll auto book it, even if they haven't put something on their calendar. If they leave, it'll auto-release it. So when we think about how powerful that is, if I walk up to a room and say my friend's in there and sitting there, but the room looks green, okay, now I have to find another room. Or I find a room that looks red, but there's nobody in there, but maybe I don't want to be rude and squat in that room if it's not mine. Well, the auto book and release, it really shows the accurate availability of those rooms. So real cool stuff that's been introduced to Sync. That's part of ISE 2026. Check it out at logitech.com.